Hello again, Richie people. So this is another VR, and this one is to Rich, who is part of the team at Pagan Perspectives, and this was a video that he did back in January, so I'm not expecting a response. However, I thought it was quite interesting, but you have to bear with me. He didn't write any questions down, he just asked a lot of questions. I think another member of the team, Yucca, asked him the questions. She asked Rich, what questions would Rich like to ask viewers? And he did. He's a very excitable personality. He's very quick, and so I wrote down, or I tried to write down most of what he said. So this is why the glasses are on, and I'm right. So the question starts with, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm AmberMoon. Okay, are you on YouTube, and do you have a YouTube channel? You're watching it. I have several YouTube channels, but this is my Pagan YouTube channel. Is there anything specific that sets you apart, and what do you talk about? Well, I talk about stuff. What sets me apart? Not a lot. I prefer to think about what we have more in common as a YouTube pagan community than what we have apart, but I will admit that there aren't many hedge witches on YouTube. I think I found about 7 or 8 that are uploading content. So yeah, it does kind of set me apart, but not a great deal. Are you in a traditional type of coven, and what does that mean to you, and what do you love about it? Well, no, I'm not. What would you change, or have you changed a little about it? So about your tradition, whether it's coven, traditional, solitary. What have I changed? Over the years, I think the main thing I changed is actually putting the word hedge in front of witch. I was quite happy to call myself a folk witch or an eclectic witch, but I've always really been a hedge witch. The other thing that I've changed is actually coming out of the broom closet, because I do go back in occasionally. I think it's more to do with, I don't mind people knowing that I can hear spirits, or that I'm quite empathic. It's just, I don't mind sharing that now, and I think that's changed because I never used to. What would be the changes you need to take place if you're in a traditional setting? If you're not in a traditional setting, what is your practice, hedge witchery, and do tell. Oh, that's it, Richard said. Do tell, because that's interesting shit to me. So yeah, thanks, Rich. I don't post a lot of like spell work on, or specific spell work on YouTube. I do tend to keep that quite private, but I may change that. We'll see. So, how long have you been on YouTube? Because Rich is actually still discovering people that have apparently been on YouTube for years, since its inception nearly. And you know, he's like, well, how long have you been on YouTube? Well, I've been on, I don't even know how long I've been on YouTube this time round. Participating and actually uploading my videos only a couple of years, maybe, possibly. As a viewer and leaving comments, I couldn't tell you. Too long. I couldn't even remember it. Way too far back for me to remember. So what's your favourite herb? I don't know. I like traditional herbs, like a lot of the wart herbs, and I love rosemary, always loved rosemary. I like the baneful herbs, and I like maybe it's the danger of them, I don't know. So yeah, I like all of that, and I like things like feverfew and comfrey and borage, but yeah, nothing too fancy for me. What's your favourite incense? Always has been, always will be, I suspect. I love basil incense, proper basil incense, but for an incense blend, a named incense, it has to be the Witch's Curse. I love it. And for those of you that like sniffed the pack and said, oh, it's not for me, try lighting one. They smell completely different. Well, not completely different, but they do smell different when they're burning as opposed to when you just sniff them in the packet. The thing with Stanford incense, a lot of them I think smell quite soapy. So anyway, do you use any of it in your practice? Oh yes. All the time. And it's not just using it in my practice, I use it because I like it. It's on there. Not so much, I don't use candles and incense so much in the summer because it's just too hot. What's my favourite stone? It's not actually a stone, it's amber, I think. Amber, it's why I was called AmberMoon, because I love amber. It was either going to be that or silver amber. But yeah, if I had to actually just say, yes, that's my favourite one, it'll be amber. Probably. Oh, that's my fan stopped again. It's going to get hot again. Do you use any of it in your practice? Do you say to hell with it, and I don't even need books, I'm just going, oh, that's it. Do you use it in a traditional sense, in the way it's supposed to be used, like correspondences and such like? Or do you kind of, like with stones and herbs, do you just go with the flow? Well, most people know I do go with the flow. It's definitely, I've said it before, if I pick up a stone and it's supposed to be for one thing, but the feel of it for me is for something completely different, then I'll go with whatever that feeling is, whatever vibe I get off of it, if you like. So I am to hell with the books, and I just do me. How do you practice your practice? Do you absorb everything you read, or are you a visual learner watching every YouTube video out there? A bit of both. Like I've said before, I do have a problem with this, with my old noggin. But I do love to read. But as I've got older, sometimes I don't have the patience for it, or I don't have the time. I do have the time, I just don't think I have the time. But I think anyone who notices the amount of books in my house will notice that I absorb everything, but I do watch a lot of YouTube videos as well. But the YouTube is not necessarily to gain knowledge for my path, it's just to learn about other people and how they do it. So I don't watch YouTube videos to learn about my practice, I just do that to learn about other people's practices. This goes back to the herbs and stones. Do you experiment, i.e. do you pick up a jar of myrrh and say, this is what this scent means to me, and this is what it does? Or are you one of those people that goes by the book? I very rarely go by the book. Do you script your videos or not? Sometimes. It will honestly depend on how I feel at the time. I don't like to. I do actually prefer to just go off the cuff, like here where I've written down the questions as I was watching Rich's video. But that's, you know, sometimes I might make notes, but I very, very rarely write. I don't actually write whole scripts. I write notes occasionally, but I won't write whole scripts. If you use tools in your practice, which or what is your favourite, and where did you procure it? If I had to say I had a favourite tool, it would probably be, go that way, my book, and I made it. So if you want to class that as a tool, that's probably one of my most important tools, because that's my memory in there. So there we go. Right, next, do you have a tool that is not exactly common but is your favourite thing? No, I don't think I do. I mean, like I've got a lot of bells that I managed to find in charity shops and what they call thrift shops, I guess, in America. And a lot of them are like, oh, silver wedding anniversary bell, and I've just taken the sticker off and said, no, it's just a bell. But I think a lot of people do that. So I don't think there's anything unusual that I do use. I mean, I have a shepherd's crook instead of a staff, but simply that was because what I had. Do I use? I don't think I would use anything differently. I'm trying to think now, and I can't think of anything that I might not use. I might have to at some point decide differently. I'll have to think about that. Are you a tarot reader or not? But I do have tarot cards. I'm just not very good at reading them, but I do like oracle cards, and I do like to do a lot of divination with oracle cards. Right, in the many years of the Pagan Perspective, what has been your favourite topic? My favourite topic was ethics. Ethics and morality. Narrowing that down further, who was your favourite host and what was their video? I think my favourite host was it Dancing Rabbit? And I'll link the video below. It's about whether it's ethical for pagans to go into Christian churches and join in services for certain reasons, like for christenings and things like that. So yes, I did like that. I liked the way he approached it. I liked the fact that he was standing, in what appeared to be a bush behind a field. No, he was standing in a field with some bushes around, and he looked very comfortable. How long have you been watching the Pagan Perspective? Have you watched all the videos? Have you missed a few? A lot. I don't know how long I've been watching it. And I don't avidly watch every video. I'm a cherry picker. Always have been, probably always will be. So yes, I cherry pick videos. But I've watched a few. To be able to pick out a favourite, I must have watched a few. And that's very much one that did sort of like stick in my head. And yeah. So there we go. I think that's all of it. So that's it. That is the questions that Rich from at the Pagan Perspective, those are the questions he asked. I will link his video, his channel. Well, so I will link the Pagan Perspective video, his channel, and the video from the Dancing Rabbit all down below. That's it from me for now. Thank you for watching, witchy people. Bye bye.